Right now, ahead of Memorial Day, how the military community in Verona is honoring those killed in action while fighting for our freedoms. Also, concerns heading into the summer as a nationwide shortage of lifeguards keeping us safe while we swim.
After weeks of negotiations, we have come to an agreement in principle. We still have a lot of work to do, but I believe this is an agreement in principle that's worthy of the American people.
And the White House and House Republicans come to a tentative agreement on a deal to avoid going into default. That's all coming up tonight at 10. And brand new tonight at 10, the White House and House Republicans say they have an agreement in principle on a deal to raise the debt ceiling and cap spending. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy making that announcement about 2 hours ago, moving the country one step back from the verge of a historic default.
It has historic reductions in spending, consequential reforms that will lift people out of poverty into the workforce, rein in government overreach. There are no new taxes, no new government programs. There's a lot more within the bill. We still have more work to do tonight to finish all the writing of it.
As for when a deal must officially happen, June 5th. That's the crucial date when Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the country will no longer be able to pay its bills. A default by the U.S. government would be unprecedented and could have sparked a global recession. Now back in Wisconsin, it was a gorgeous day here in southern Wisconsin, and more days like it are to come. Here for the long weekend, we turn now to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canulty out on the weather patio with our first warn forecast. Gary?
Well, it was a good day to be outside, and the next couple of days will be just as nice. Let's take a look, first of all, at the time-lapse from the WISC-TV Skycam. We had bright sunshine through much of the day, although late in the afternoon you started to see those cirrus clouds come in overhead, but you could still see the sun through them, so they're not very thick. They will keep temperatures up a bit for tonight. Last night, low temperatures dropped into the 30s north of Madison. 30 was the overnight low temperature in Camp Douglas, 31 in Black River Falls, and the Baraboo Dells Airport dropped to 39. Madison bottomed out at 40, but take a look at the high temperatures. 79 the high in Madison. That's almost a 40-degree temperature rise, and Camp Douglas went up to 80. That was a 50-degree temperature rise from the early morning lows. But those temperatures now have come back down into the middle 60s away from Lake Michigan. A little cooler closer to the lake. Temperatures there in the middle 50s. But in Dane County, we're looking at 64 in the town of Perry, 63 in Belleville, and 65 in Sun Prairie. Look for skies to be mostly cloudy overnight, but it will be a little milder. Low temperature dropping to 50 degrees. Later on, I'll take a look at a pretty nice forecast for the rest of the Memorial Day weekend.
Gary, thank you. The Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial start of summer. And if you needed any other sign of summer in Madison, the beaches are now open. Madison Parks says the city's 12 maintained beaches officially opened this morning, just in time for temperatures that will only get hotter and hotter over the next few days. And for the little ones, 3 splash pads, one at Cypress Spray Park, one at Elver Park, and a third at Rindle Park are also open now for the season. As beaches and pools nationwide begin to open for the summer, there's a growing problem. There aren't enough lifeguards to keep watch. Some of America's biggest cities are facing lifeguard shortages. New York City is facing its worst lifeguard shortage on record, with roughly a third of what it needs for the summer. The situation is also critical nationwide, so that about half of the country's 309,000 public pools will be forced to either close or reduce hours, according to the American Lifeguard Association.
This is more than just a summer job. Lifeguards have a unique advantage of letting people know that there's danger and to stay out of that danger.
The lifeguard shortage could get even worse this summer, so cities are now offering incentives. In Phoenix, for example, new lifeguards are getting a $3,000 bonus. And red poppies are a symbol of remembrance for armed service members killed in action dating back to World War I. And people in our community are keeping the tradition going. Tahlil Mohadeen visited Verona to learn more about how the military community there is honoring those killed in action while supporting the surviving vets.
To serve your country is a big honor.
For Chad Churchill, joining the military was the natural choice.
My dad was in the Army, brother in the Navy, and my other brother retired from the Army.
So in 1992, he too made the decision to serve.
Unfortunately, I got a medical discharge during basic training for my knee.
Though his time in uniform was cut short, his commitment to the men and women who served continued with the American Legion's post in Verona.
The joy of seeing the people out there that served for our country to keep us free and everything like that. I mean, it's just so important.
It's the same reason Jenny Siftested, whose husband served in Vietnam, has been with Post 385 for almost 50 years.
Back here at home, the veterans kept us safe, and overseas they did their job.
To show their gratitude, they're encouraging people to wear these red poppies on Memorial Day and help them raise money for veteran support services.
Community this year was fantastic.
The poppies, handmade by veterans, have so far helped them raise over $1,000, 20% more than in years prior, which Siftestad says goes a long way.
Surgical pillows, clothing, puzzles, car models, whatever they may need at the Middleton VA here.
And they say while there's a lot more that can be done to make sure vets are taken care of, the gesture is certainly meaningful.
It shows me pride that people are supporting it. I mean, it just gives me shivers.
As Thalil Mahadeen reporting, the red poppies will again be available to grab on Memorial Day during the American Legion's local service. They'll be held at 10 a.m. at Sugar Creek Middle School in Verona. Now, for those interested in doing more to support the local vets, Post 385 needs volunteers. And good news for residents of the village of Blanchardville. A water boil advisory put into effect yesterday has been lifted. The village issued it after a water sample from earlier this week tested positive for E. coli. However, the Wisconsin DNR says a test of Blanchardville's water from last night found no signs of the bacteria, and it is safe for drinking and bathing. And Bratfest is getting a lot of attention this weekend, as it always does. But earlier today, a smaller festival showcased all that can be done without meat or dairy products. Vilas Park was the home to the first ever vegan sausage fest, where vendors cooked up delicious and creative vegan-friendly dishes. Starting at 11 this morning, guests could try the plant-based foods in a traditional festival setting, with plenty of choices to pick from. Organizers say they believe that they had about 1,000 people out today, with social media used to promote the event.
The last 2 months, we've just been putting a lot of social media content out there and really promoting it, and the turnout is so much better than I thought.
2 farm sanctuaries were on hand taking donations, and anyone who donated $10 was entered into a raffle drawing for a $50 Food Fight restaurant gift card. And in national news, the Texas House of Representatives voted to impeach Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton by an overwhelming bipartisan vote. Paxton faced 20 articles of impeachment, including accusations of bribery, and he's been immediately removed from his office pending trial in the Texas Senate. Jack Fink shares the latest.
History is made at the Texas Capitol, where the House of Representatives voted overwhelmingly to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton. This was bipartisan. Republicans joined Democrats, and so now Paxton is immediately suspended from his job as the top law enforcement official in the state of Texas, pending the outcome of a trial in the Texas Senate, where 2/3 of the senators will have to vote him out permanently of his job. And one of those senators is his wife, Angela. This marks the 3rd time in Texas history that a state official has now been impeached. In a statement, Paxton called the impeachment, quote, an ugly spectacle, and said, quote, it was a politically motivated sham from the beginning. Among the articles of impeachment against him, abuse of public trust, dereliction of duty, obstruction of justice, and constitutional bribery. House members accused Paxton of misusing his office and his powers for his benefit and the benefit of one of his campaign donors, who happens to be an Austin businessman. Opponents, though, criticized this process, calling it rushed and saying there was no evidence but just innuendo and rumor. And during the impeachment proceeding, one of the members revealed that before all this, earlier in the week, Paxton called some of the House members and threatened them with political consequences if they voted to impeach him. I emailed Paxton's office seeking comment, but I didn't hear back. And so now the Texas Senate has 20 days to set a trial date. In Austin, Jack Fink, CBS News.
Now, take a look at this. Crews in Washington State rescued a paraglider after he was caught and stuck in a tree. It happened yesterday afternoon and took several hours for rescue crews to reach the man. Fortunately, he walked out on his own with no serious injuries. Now scammers are targeting homeowners and renters by listing fake rental ads online. It happened to a California woman who learned that someone posted an ad to rent her house on the website Zillow. Kirsten Walker says stranger after stranger began showing up to her Hayward Hills, California home, saying they wanted to rent it. Walker lived there for a year round, never listed it for rent, but later found it listed on Zillow. Looking at the listing of her own home, she saw that there were already 15 applications with a deposit of $4,800. Walker said someone had claimed her property as theirs, and the contact number went to a Google Voice line.
My concern was, okay, is somebody going to show up at my door and say, I have a rental agreement and I paid a deposit and now I want in? I mean, it was a little concerning for me about our safety and just what was going to happen.
Walker contacted Zillow and was able to get the listing removed. Now she hopes that Zillow will make the process more rigorous to verify who owns the homes. Still ahead tonight at 10. Sharing stories over ice cream, how a local cancer survivor is keeping in touch with the doctor who helped save her life.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833 WISC-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
The Chevy RS family of SUVs has it all. Whether you want the 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen on Blazer or extra peace of mind with Chevy Safety Assist standard on the 2023 Chevy family of SUVs. So take your pick. The choice is yours. Spring into adventure and get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Equinox models. Or get $1,500 cash allowance. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
How can you make a difference in the world when there is so much need?
Be a mentor.
Young people need a positive role model to succeed and navigate life's challenges. Think about someone in your life who helped you get where you are today. A mentor assures young people that someone cares and makes them feel like they matter. Learn about mentorship opportunities in the 608 at unitedmadison.com/mentoring. Brought to you by Fearing's Audio Video Security and United Madison.
Hang on tight, Wisconsin, because fun just got a lot faster. It's Fast Play from the Wisconsin Lottery, an all-new style of lotto games that combine instant wins with the progressive jackpot. Playing is easy at any lottery retailer. Just print, play, and know if you're a winner instantly. The progressive jackpot starts at $10,000 and grows with each ticket sold. The share of the jackpot increases with the price of the ticket. Fast Play is available now, only at Wisconsin lottery retailers.
I'm News 3 Now's Josh Spreiter. I'm visiting the people, places, and events that make this area one of a kind. Tell me what inspires you, and it might be featured on News 3 Now this morning.
In the 608, weekdays on News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back. Statewide today, flags flew at half-staff in honor of Navy Seaman 2nd Class David Joseph Riley, who was killed more than 80 years ago in the attack on Pearl Harbor during World War II. His remains were identified in 2021, and today he was laid to rest with full military honors in Judah. That's in the town of Jefferson in Greene County. Riley was assigned to the USS Oklahoma in 1941 when he was killed in the attack. And the Cancer Center at SSM Health's Turville Bay will host their Cancer Survivors Ice Cream Social in a little more than a week's time. In some ways, it's the story of a triumphant post-pandemic return. But as Kyle Bazorski reports, it's also a story about the best and most resilient among us.
It wasn't long after Rita and Jim Shunk got married when they got the devastating diagnosis, breast cancer.
I just went into it thinking,
Most people that get breast cancer survive it.
Rita would need chemo, surgery, and radiation, made all the more difficult for the couple who were living 2 hours apart at the time.
When I got cancer, we actually were having a long-distance marriage.
Rita was living outside of Mount Horeb, Jim and Racine, but that would all need to change. In order to be the supportive husband she needed, Jim decided he needed to take time off from his job.
That day, after we found out that she had cancer, and I said, listen, I says, my wife has cancer. We don't know how bad it is. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but I can't come back there until this is over.
So he did, staying right by Rita's side all throughout her treatment, growing a lasting love.
And you're my best friend, the best thing that ever happened to me.
Also by the couple's side, the staff at SSM Health's Turtle Bay Cancer Center. The Shunks say they made all the difference.
The people there were just phenomenal during my radiation treatment. The staff there, I get teary just thinking about it.
Dr. Michelle McKay was one of the oncologists who treated Rita.
Is just the highest compliment we can receive. I think we attract that personality type in cancer care. I think it's actually kind of somewhat of a calling.
In many ways, the treatment goes on for couples like the Shunks. Each year, Turtle Bay hosts an ice cream social through which they invite cancer survivors back to reconnect with patients and families they treated. McKay says it's just a part of who they are as a center.
We purposely schedule this on National Cancer Survivorship Day, and that is to celebrate our cancer survivors and thrivers.
The Shunks come back each year, with Jim often scooping ice cream himself.
It is a super positive, fun time, and yes, there are a lot of emotions with that, but by and large, it feels like festive rather than sadness.
From Jim and Rita's darkest to brightest hours, they're passing on the love and support that kept them going.
And I just really appreciate the fact that they do that.
Kyle Pazorski reporting. This year's Cancer Survivors and Thrivers Ice Cream Social will be held on Sunday, June 4th from 1 to 3 p.m. It'll take place at the SSM Health Radiation Oncology Center at Turtle Bay. It's free for all area cancer survivors, loved ones, and caregivers. Those who attend will be treated to various ice cream flavors as well as live music. Now, the TSA hit its highest checkpoint volume of the year yesterday as millions of travelers are flying for the Memorial Day weekend. Roughly more than 2.7 million passengers were screened at airports nationwide on Friday. And that's a slight increase from Thursday when the TSA reported screening more than 2.6 million passengers. That is the highest single-day number since Thanksgiving of 2019. A TSA administrator said earlier this week the agency expects to screen 10 million passengers over the holiday weekend. We'll go now to a first warn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Should be good flying weather, right?
Good flying weather, good driving weather, good boating weather for that matter. Three things you need to know in the forecast. Look for high temperatures to be in the 80s for tomorrow, for Memorial Day Monday, and also for Tuesday. By Tuesday, we'll be in the upper 80s. Hot temperatures with highs around 90 for Wednesday and Thursday. Probably the first time we'll hit 90 degrees this year in Madison. And dry weather is expected through Wednesday. A slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. Maybe a little better chance Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And then we're back to dry weather beginning next weekend and lasting at least into the middle part of next week. For Memorial Day weekend, the rest of it, 81 for a high tomorrow. So our high today, 79, will be a couple degrees above that. We'll add a couple more degrees to the high temperature for Memorial Day itself with a high of 83. Partly sunny skies both days, not looking for any rain. And that high temperature trend well above the average high, which goes from 73 to 76. Look for temperatures up around 90 for the middle part of the week, and then they come back down into the lower 80s for next weekend, and then drop off a little bit more after that. There are signs that we could see temperatures in the low to mid 70s for the middle and latter parts of next week. But precipitation will be sparse. This is future track precipitation through Wednesday afternoon. As you can see, just about the entire state of Wisconsin not looking for any rain in the first part of the week. But the second part of the week doesn't bear a lot of hope for any widespread rain anyway, at least in the southeastern portion of the state. This takes us through Tuesday of the following week. So basically the next 10 days, and it's possible southern and eastern Wisconsin could see little or no rainfall at all. And even the northwestern parts of the state, quarter to a half inch of rain. That's well below average. We normally see about an inch of rain per week this time of year. So we should be looking at about an inch and a half during that time period, but we'll be much less than that. And then after a cool night last night, temperatures warmed up very quickly. Madison hit a high of 79, La Crosse 82, Eau Claire 81, and you can see out to the west a large area of 80s, but no overall overwhelming heat and no really bitter cold either. That cool weather that we had earlier has shifted off to the east now, and temperatures are pretty comfortable through much of the Midwest. So if you're traveling tomorrow or Memorial Day, look for pretty nice weather through our part of the Midwest. Now, there have been some serious clouds coming in from the southeast. All the shower and thunderstorm activity has stayed out to the west in the vicinity of the jet stream, but it's driving that precipitation more to the north than to the east, and the air being dry across our part of the Midwest. Even these clouds aren't bringing any precipitation. You can see some showers and thunderstorms just ahead of a stationary front out across parts of Wyoming and Montana, and that front's going to sit out there for a while. That's where the best chances for rain will be, and you can see around here, temperatures pretty comfortable, upper 50s and lower to middle 60s. We'll look for low temperatures tonight right around 50 degrees. By tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 81 degrees with partly sunny skies, so a warm Sunday. Planning your day across Dane County, 81 for the high in Madison, 81 Middleton, and 81 for the high in Fitchburg. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, Platteville will reach 79, so will Camp Douglas, and Wautoma should reach 80 degrees. Our first warned 7 to 10 day forecast, Memorial Day Monday, 83 with partly sunny skies, up to 87 on Tuesday, and then 90 for Wednesday and Thursday. Rain chances pretty much are confined to the Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening time frame, about a 20% chance there, maybe about a 30 to 40% chance Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and then we're back to another period of dry weather. So by the end of that 10-day forecast, for most of us, I think we'll be looking for rain. The grass is already starting to brown up a little bit.
I was going to notice driving in, and it looks like too at that 10-day forecast for like a moviegoer who wants a nice AC blast, maybe later in the week.
Yeah, well, you know, air conditioning is good anytime this time of year, especially if you've got allergies, because it filters the air.
Yes, exactly. Well, for those movie-going fans, for fans of John Wick, good news. The 5th movie is in early development. That's according to Liongate's Motion Picture Group's chair, Joe Drake, who teased it in an earnings call obtained by The Hollywood Reporter. It comes months after the smash hit John Wick Chapter 4, which raked in $363 million across the globe. It joins several previously announced spin-off projects related to the film's universe. And still to come, Ford Madison hit the road for Omaha tonight. See how the Mingos did next in sports with Andrew.
Now, First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Save big Memorial Day weekend. This Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Ground beef or turkey, $2.88 for a 1-pound roll. Whole seedless watermelon, $4.68 each. And Nabisco, Ritz, or snack crackers, 2 for $5. Only at Hy-Vee.
Hey, what's up with no seatbelt?
We're not going far. Just heading to town.
Really?
Don't worry, folks. I got this.
What the?
Come on, man. You're more likely to get in a crash on a shorter trip. So buckle up every trip, every time.
Got it?
Got it.
Click it or ticket. Together, we can save lives.
At Honda, we offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles. Just enjoy the ride, knowing we cover routine items like oil changes, tire rotations, and multi-point inspections. Honda Service Pass, available to purchasers of all 2023 Honda vehicles. Get yours today.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
It's time for amazing Memorial Day savings at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop unbeatable deals on everything you need to kick off the summer season. Like special buy Kingsford Charcoal Briquette Combo Packs, just $16.99. Men's Lee Extreme Motion Shorts, only $34.99. And select Milk-Bone Dog Treats start at just $8.99. Plus, this Friday through Sunday, we're thanking all veterans and active military with an extra 10% off their entire purchase.
Save big Memorial Day weekend this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee. Pepsi 6-packs, $2.75 each when you buy 4. Lay's or Kettle Chips, $1.77 each when you buy 3. And hot dogs, only $1.48. Only at Hy-Vee.
The Milwaukee Bucks are reportedly finalizing a multi-year deal to make Adrian Griffin their new head coach. Griffin, who played 9 seasons in the NBA himself, spent the last 4 years as the Toronto Raptors' top assistant, winning a title up north in 2019. Griffin, alongside his former boss, Nick Nurse, former Toronto Raptors head coach, were among the finalists for the position, but when it was reported this morning that Nurse took himself out of the running, the Bucks finalized a deal with Griffin. He is a first-time head coach and presumably got Giannis's stamp of approval. The Greek Freak met with each of the coaching candidates, and Bucks top brass was reportedly impressed with Griffin's leadership style and defensive-minded approach. He's familiar with the Bucks, too, who he started his coaching career with in 2008. To the links where Steve Stricker battles in the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship. The Pride of Edgerton turned it into high gear on the back 9 today after a birdie on 13. Here's another on 14. And then let's skip to hole 15, where Strick will go on to sink the putt. That brings him down to 14 under. Steve birdied 8 of his 18 holes today, including 4 of his last 6. That brings him to 15 under on the day. He heads into the final day of the event, trailing the leader by just 1 shot. Ford Madison matched up with Union Omaha tonight in USL 1 League action. This game was streamed on Television Wisconsin and Channel 3000+. Mingo's here in the 52nd minute, tied at 1 apiece, and here comes Christian Chaney for the go-ahead goal. What an offensive force he's been this season. Key addition for the Mingos, who go on to win 2-1 in full time. Scary moment for the Brewers last night when a foul ball struck shortstop Willie Adames in the face. He was taken to the hospital overnight, but was reportedly able to remain awakened without any fractures. The crew, though, did place him on a 7-day concussion list this morning. Brewers trying to get back on track after losing the first 2 games of this series. Bottom of the 7th, crew trail 1-0, and Victor Caratini rips a rocket to right field to score Bryce Terang to tie this game at 1 apiece. But in the 8th, the Giants get theirs back. Mitch Haniger goes deep straightaway center to give San Fran another pair of runs. They never looked back. Giants win this one 3-1, the final. The Madison College baseball team is in Oklahoma for the NJCAA D2 World Series. They're matched up with the St. John's River State College in the double elimination tournament. The Wolfpack led 7-3 in the 5th inning, but a burst from St. John's put them on top. They lead, St. John's does, 10-7 in the 8th. Staying on the diamond, this is wild. Will, you got to hear this. UW-Stevens Point led UW Lacrosse 19-2 in a baseball game in the 5th inning of their Super Regional today. Then UW Lacrosse scored 18 straight runs. Going into the 9th, Will, the score was 20-19, but Stevens Point ended up winning 24-20. Lacrosse got the final word, though. They win 16-10 and advance in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that is just amazing. And we were talking earlier off air, how many pitchers did they go through? Not that many.
Not that many. It was only 11. And, you know, for a game that had 44 runs in it, weirdly enough, only on 40 hits, which is kind of a weird thing. But, yeah, to only have 11 pitchers, you don't see those scores every day. Maybe in a football game, but not a baseball game.
That's right. We'll be back with your first forecast coming up when we return.
This is how legends are. 2024 Chevy Silverado HD with Duramax diesel. And a Chevy Silverado with powerful TurboMax engine. No matter what route you take, there's a Chevy truck to get you there. Find new roads. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 LT TurboMax pickups, or current Chevy owners get $5,250 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful sunny day today, and we can expect much more of the same over the next few days.
Motorcycles are not invisible. but they can seem that way to drivers who aren't paying close attention. Look twice for motorcycles. Seeing them is saving them.
Okay, I think we're all aware that most cell companies only give you the lowest price when you sign up for multiple lines.
What? Multiple lines?
Hello? Yeah, one sec. But US Cellular gives you just one line for $29.99 with unlimited data.
Just one line with unlimited data.
So you don't have to get more lines than you need.
No, you hang up.
Are you even listening, guy who never looks up from his phone?
Oh, not for me, I just say it.
Okay, so no, you're not listening.
Get one line for $29.99, plus we'll give you an extra $200. US Cellular, built for us.
We're kicking off Bob's Summer of Savings in all my stores coast to coast this Memorial Day weekend. Celebrating over 30 years of furniture fun in my now 165 stores across the United States. So come join the party, because I've got new collections you won't want to miss and treats for the whole fam. Plus, get Bob's discount on my highly rated furniture, mattresses, and more, with financing options to fit your budget. Get your home summer ready during Bob's Summer of Savings this Memorial Day weekend. I've saved you a seat at the party, and a sofa, and a bed, and a
You've got this. Your big moment on their big day. The dress? Another one you'll never wear. Gift? Practical. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you get invited to your third destination wedding in as many months, we'll be there with you.
When we first met Todd, we thought Jen was kidding.
You've got this with Associated Bank.
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife, Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Celebrate Memorial Day at Brothers Maine, where unbeatable appliance deals come with expert advice. Enjoy special prices and free delivery on top brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Channel 3000 Plus. Watch from your streaming media player or mobile device.
And we'll go to Gary with our last look at the weather.
Yeah, this is the kind of look you like to have. There's the live view of the Edgewater Skycam. Temperatures right now, 50s east of Dane County, mainly 60s elsewhere. We'll zoom into Dane County. You can see 64 right now, Madison, 63 in Oregon, and 64, the current temperature in Mount Laurel.
And thank you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow night on News 3 Now.